Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well today. We got a very special video today, one that I am looking forward to because I feel like I need a little love in my life, and I feel like this video is going to bring me a little bit of love and cuteness, and I hope it brings you the same. So I got an email a couple months back from a special someone asking for me to do a costume for them. And when I found out their story and who they were, I could not resist. This email was from a dog named Bindi. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I love dogs. I love them more than people. I love cuddling with them and giving them little kisses on their snoots and their faces and just loving all over them. I grew up with dogs. I love a big dog. Our family always had labs, so I've had them in every color. I had my own lab at one point before she passed. She was a chocolate lab named Carrie Bell, and she was very special to me. And so I've always had dogs around me in some form, especially bigger dogs. And Bindi is a Golden Retriever. And she is a therapy dog, and she goes to skating competitions to cheer on the skaters. So she needs a costume to wear at those skating competitions when she's cheering on all the skaters and their hard work. So I'm gonna help her look her most glamorous self, hopefully. So this video is on me making that costume. Now, I have never made any kind of clothing for any dogs or animals, so this will be something different, and so I am not exactly sure how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to fake it till I make it, so hopefully it turns out well. But we'll tell a little more Bindi's story later on in the video, because she is coming to the Brad Griffey's Designs studio here in Atlanta to visit and to pick up her costume. So you will see that later on in the video, and we'll get a little more information on her from her mama. And so I'm so excited. I can't wait. So I really need some dog cuddles right now. I feel like I'm a little stressed out, getting ready for my vacation in a couple weeks. And actually, I think when this video comes out, I will be preparing to leave for that vacation. So I just feel like this is the little extra therapy that Brad needs to make it through those last couple of weeks before I go on my little hiatus to refresh and re-energize myself. So I'm excited that Bindi is coming to visit us here, and I can get some, hopefully, dog kisses and dog cuddles. All right, so I'm going to bring you over here to my pattern table, and we will talk about how I'm going to go about making this pattern, since I have never done one of these. So I'll bring you over here to the pattern table and we will chit chat. All right, here we go. All right, time to figure out how I'm going to make a pattern for this costume for Bindi. Now, what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to fake it, because I've never made a dog costume. I'm not exactly sure how they go together. So the best way when you don't know how to do something like this, and this is a pretty, I mean, this is going to be a pretty simple pattern. It's just basically a shirt here. I'm going to put up a picture here. I forgot to do that in the first segment of what it's going to look like. But it's basically pink. It's going to have a little skirt on it with airbrush, and then we're going to do some beading. And so I got to figure out how to make the base of this. And so I feel like the best way to do that is to fake it by going on Amazon, finding a little dog shirt that would be her size, and cutting it apart and making the pattern off of this. I don't make dog costumes a lot, so, you know, I feel like it's just easier to do it this way and quickly. So I found this little dog shirt, and so I'm going to use this as my base, and then we can add everything to it, like the crystals and the little skirt. Now, I have already gone and cut out, because I was doing airbrush yesterday, and so I cut out some 8-inch strips for her skirt that I'm just going to gather along but as you can see, there's a little airbrush on the edge because she has to be up with the latest trends, which airbrush is a big trend right now. But anyway, so I have these shirts, and basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut into one. We'll be a little bit of a rebel and just go ahead and cut into it, and hopefully it works. But I'm going to just cut along all the seams of this dog shirt, and then we can lay it out and see what the pattern should look like. And I'm just going to trace. I'm going to trace it. It just looks like it's basically a stomach piece and then a back piece. So super simple. And then I can cut it out of my Lycra. I'll do the mesh over the top like we do on a regular human costume. But this is just an easy way, like it's basically a little cheat for garment makers, that you can just kind of cut up a garment that has a good fit or the fit that you want, and then just trace it. Now, you know, if I was doing lots of dog costumes or clothing or whatnot, then I would want to figure out, you know, how to make them just right, kind of like my skating costumes. And not that this will be wrong, but just that it will be, you know, easier to figure this. So yeah, it looks like, almost looks like a human shirt on the back, and then it just has like a little front piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll get pattern paper out, lay it down, and then I can take the pieces and put them out on here. But this is just a super simple way to kind of get a quick pattern, especially because, you know, I'm not going to be doing this for, you know, a lot of dogs. It's just for one dog. And so I just got to figure out what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace around all these pieces to get the shape. All right, now I've got that all traced out. What will be, I think, the simplest way is I'm just going to trim out both of these pieces. So I'm going to use my paper scissors. Always want to make sure you're using your paper scissors. I'm going to just trim out both of these traces. All right, I've got them cut out. Now what I'm going to do so that I can make sure that both sides are even is I'm going to fold this in half. Try to get as evenly as possible. Because I just remember I just traced around it on both sides, and so it's not going to be perfectly even. So I'm just going to try to get right in the center of it. Fold the pattern in half. So now I have a middle seam, and then what I can do is cut away half of it, and we'll use that piece because, yeah, it's totally not symmetrical when it's done this way. So I think what I'm going to do, so use this side. Let's see, what do we got? So yeah, that all pretty much matches up. I think let's trim up the pattern just a little bit. So I'm going to use this side of the pattern because I like the way that it looks better. And I'm going to use this side. Beautiful, perfect. now we have our base for our pattern. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this out. And I basically just have 2 side seams here and then a shoulder seam. And then the rest of this is just going to be, I'm just going to have a binding almost similar to this on there, a little thinner than that, in a silver, because it's going to be pink. So this will be a pink base. We'll have the pink to raspberry skirt. But then I want to do my signature silver outline on the edge. So I'm going to take some silver metallic fabric and put it around the edge. And I'll show you how I do that when we get to that point. But basically, I can just use this pattern because this isn't a fancy pattern like a skating costume where everything needs to perfectly meet up. So when I go to cut this out, I'm just going to add a little bit of seam allowance in these parts because this doesn't need a seam here. So it's basically just the shoulder and the sides that need the seam. And then I can seam it up, and then we can put in the silver lining around the edges to finish it off. And then I can do beading on it. Now I will, when she gets here, I'm going to make the skirt separate piece. And then when she gets here, I can place it and make sure that it is all attached in the right spot. And I think that will be the best form of attack on that. All right, so I'm going to cut out the fabric for this, and then we can get to sewing. So I'm going to bring you over to my pattern table, or my pattern table, over to my cutting table. Like I said, I'm running on fumes right now before my vacation. It happens every time. I'm rushing to the end to get everything done, finish everything up, and my brain goes to mush. So I'm just about at that point because I'm about 3 weeks from being able to go on my vacation so that I can revive myself so that I can continue doing this. So, all right, I'm going to bring you over to the cutting table and we'll cut it out. All right, here we go. All right, we're at the cutting table now, and I've got my normal liner fabric that I would use on a human skating costume. So for this dog costume, we're going to do the same. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll fold the fabric like normal. And then I've got my 2 pattern pieces. I can place it out on the fabric. Like I said, I'm going to, where the seams are, I'm going to add, I'll probably add a 1/2 inch, which is a little more than probably I need, but I want it to make sure that it's big enough, which I think will be good. All right, so I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to use my spray glue, like normal, that 505 spray glue that I love using here, and spray on the color Lycra, and then I'll put a layer of mesh over the top because I like the look of that better than just the plain. And we're going to give Bindi the full costume treatment like I would do for anybody. All right, so I'm going to do all of that. You watch along, and then we can get to sewing her up. All right, here we go. All right, I am now at home, ready to do the beading on Bindi's costume. Now, as you've probably known from my past videos, I like to bring my beading home so that I can sit back and relax and watch TV or a movie, and can just relax while doing my beading. All right, so this is what we have got. There's the little body part, and then this is where the chest is, and then we've got the skirt with the airbrush on the edge. So now when she comes, I'm going to place this on her because there'll be a little hook here that it will hook into underneath her little belly. But I will also tack this on the correct spot that I want it to hit. I think that's going to be super cute. So I've got the silver metallic binding on it. Now, if you want to know how to do this binding, I have a video that came out a couple weeks ago that shows how I do binding on the edges here. So that's a really helpful video. So this is the front, and then this is the back. And so we're going to do the swirl beading. So we're going to do a little swirl beading down the front. So when she's sitting down and looking pretty, and if she takes a picture, you'll be able to see some swirl beading there. But then if she's standing up and walking around, then you're seeing the swirl beading kind of on the top of her, what would be her back, but would be the best way to look at that when she's walking around. All right, so I'm going to get this started. Now I'm going to, the swirl beading is kind of, I don't want to say asymmetrical, but it doesn't have to be even. It's just going to be kind of like a random little swirl pattern that goes from the front and the back. So I'm just going to hand draw those on, and I, of course, hand draw those on with my metallic Sharpie. Now I don't need metallic on this because it's light color and pink, but I'll use the metallic Sharpie on it anyway. All right, so I will get myself kind of set up, and I'm going to bring you over top so that you can look down and see the beading as I go. But I think that is our next form of attack with doing this beading. And then I'm also going to do on the binding, I'm going to do a little bit, there's going to be crystal AB and then some pink stone. So on the binding it will be crystal AB. And I'm just going to do little dots around it just to give it a little extra sparkle. This isn't, you know, the budget of one of my normal costumes, so it will be a little more lightly beaded than you're used to seeing from me, but I don't think she needs, you know, she's very special, so she doesn't need all the glitz and glam that I probably normally do. She's sparkly enough with her own personality. I hear that she's a wiggler. And so when she gets excited, she wiggles. And I love a dog that wiggles when they get excited. So, all right, I'm going to get myself set up, and I'll get you looking straight down, and we can start this beading so that we can have this ready for Bindi when she comes for her visit. All right, here we go. All right, we have Bindi in her costume here. Now, I know they say don't ever work with dogs because they are unpredictable, so we're going to hope that she stays up on this table. But this is Bindi, and this is her mama, Kayla.
Hi.
They are from the Nashville area, and Bindi is a therapy dog. Now, can you tell us a little bit about how she became a therapy dog?
Yes, so I work in healthcare, and I initially wanted a Golden Retriever just because of their temperament. I knew I wanted her to be a therapy dog in some capacity, and initially I thought that would be in healthcare primarily. And then we got invited to a figure skating competition, and that just kind of snowballed. And she got invited to more and more, and now we're here getting a costume for you.
She needs to be all blinged up for when she goes to skating competitions. Yes. So yes, that is a good segue into that. She's a therapy dog, and she goes to the skating competitions to cheer on the skaters, to wish them good luck, and bring them lots of joy so that they maybe get their nerves out when they're skating.
Yes, and it makes such a difference. Just having her by the rink door before they compete, I taught her how to tell them good luck.
I would have loved that as a skater because dogs always give me some calm, and I would have loved to have had a dog, especially when I was older and we had to wait like an hour to skate sometimes. Yes. It would have been nice to just have a little dog to pet on and to like forget.
It's a little bit of a distraction.
So so I had to create a costume for her. She contacted me and she sent me a sweet little email. She typed herself and she was wearing her glasses. And she said, will you please make me a costume? So I had to make her a costume so when she goes to see all the skating competitions that she can be blinged out like the rest of the skaters. Yes. So that is wonderful. All right. So what else were we going to talk about? Now I'm totally forgetting what we were going to talk about. So we were going to talk about therapy, and we were going to talk about her going to competitions.
Yes.
She's going to be going to, what competition is she going to?
The next competition she'll be at is the Scott Hamilton Invitational in Nashville, Tennessee, and that's August 1st through 3rd.
Okay, so that's a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And then you are also willing to go anywhere in the country.
Anywhere. If you want Bindi at your competition or any event in general, we're willing to travel anywhere.
Okay, so I'm going to put up the information somewhere on the screen here of how to contact Bindi and Kayla if you would like to have her. She is just the sweetest dog. She is so well behaved. I don't think she's ever been on a table before.
She hasn't.
So
she's not allowed to be on the table.
She's like, get me down from here. All right. I think we're good then, right?
Yes.
Are you happy with your costume?
She loves it.
Okay, so we're going to do a little runway walk so you can see her outside. But this has been so much fun to put together for you guys.
Bindi.
And I'm so glad that it fits, first off, because I was a little worried about that. And then...
Looks so good.
And then, so yes, if you want to have Bindi at your skating competition. Now, it doesn't have to be a skating competition. It can be whatever event.
Yes.
If you are, you know, in the corporate world, right?
Yes.
Or if you're a, you know, any kind of sport or whatever, and you want Bindi to come, she will show up in this costume.
She will.
And she will give you lots of love.
Yes.
And
kisses. I always say her job is to spread joy. So if anywhere you need that, just
all right.
She's willing to
then
come.
We'll contact you. All right. So let's do a runway walk and we can finish this video up. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for making this costume. It's so pretty.
Cute and fun video, right? That was so much fun to be able to create this costume for Bindi, and to also the best part was having her come visit me here in my studio in Atlanta and have her try on the costume and we make some adjustments to make it just right for what she needed. And actually this video is the first video that I've ever edited for my YouTube where I've edited everything up to this point. I realized I didn't have a outro because I got so excited after she left that I didn't film this ending part. But it was neat to edit it all together and just see the love that she brought and how cute she was, and how cute she looked in the costume. So it just really made me smile, and like I think, like I mentioned maybe in this video or maybe another video, I'm about to go on my vacation, and I really needed a little bit of joy in my life, and she did that. And so she really is a therapy dog. So you know, dogs just always bring the best out of us, I think, and calm us down and show us love, and makes me want to get a dog. But I currently live in a high rise, so I need to move a little closer down to earth before I get me a new dog. But it does get me in the feelings of wanting to have a little puppy dog to love on. But with that being said, if you would love to have Bindi come to your event, please reach out to Kayla and Bindi through their Instagram, and I'm sure they would love to come to your event, whether it's a skating event, whether it is some other kind of sporting event, some kind of party event that Kayla said she would drive anywhere in the US. I know that her manifestation goal is to attend the US Nationals. And so if US Figure Skating is listening, or anybody with US Figure Skating that has an in, I think it'd be really cute to have Bindi come to US Figure Skating Nationals, especially this year because it's a big year. It's the Olympic year. We need to calm these skaters down, but really give them some energy and puppy love to do their very, very, very best. So anybody with US Figure Skating or anybody who knows somebody within US Figure Skating, reach out to Kayla and Bindi and have Bindi come be that little bit of support and cute love for US Nationals, because I think that would be fun. And she can wear my costume, so I can have costume maybe on the first official dog with US figure skating, maybe, right? That would be fun. So reach out to them if you're interested in, if you're having an event and you want to have Bindi come and be there for some support. So that's really fun. But I just had so much fun doing this video. It gave me the little bit of boost energy that I needed before I finish all of my work to go out of town, which sometimes can be like, the worst part of this job is knowing that you have something that you're really looking forward to and that's going to give you some rest and relaxation. But you've got to get those last few costumes done. And so it's always just kind of fries your brain right here at the end. But I feel like Bindi really brought some energy to me to be able to cross that finish line before I'm ready to relax and have fun. So with that being said, let's do some housekeeping. If you enjoy this video and you enjoy my other videos, please like, subscribe, and comment. Now, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with some of you guys. I can look at my analytics, and I see that over 50% of the people who are watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you're one of those people, it's just super easy just to click on that button and say subscribe, and then you can watch all of my future videos and see what I got going on, because I have some fun stuff coming out. I have an interview that I have set up with somebody in New York when I go up to New York for my vacation that I think you guys will really, really enjoy seeing, because I want to bring some interviews with some of the people that I know through skating. So I have one set up already and trying to get some others set up to bring to you. And then I also have done, if you follow me on Instagram, I did a couple of weeks ago, I did a help me design a dress. So I basically put out options to my Instagram followers to create a dress, and then I'm going to create that. So once I get back from my vacation, I'm going to get on that and make that video and create that dress. And so that will be fun. But I have a lot of fun stuff coming up. So please like, subscribe, and comment so that you're helping me get the algorithm going here on YouTube, and people can come and find me, and we can make these amazing, great videos. And then you can check me out on my websites. I have two. I have my main website, which is bradgriffys.co, and that is where you can see all of my made-to-order costumes, and you can order one of those in the size and color that you want, and style, and then you can also make little changes like skirts and sleeve options. Nothing too crazy though. And then you can also see the information you would need if you want me to create you a custom costume, like all the costumes that I've been making here on the channel. And then my secondary website is my stock website, which is bradgstock.com. And that is where I house all of the items that I'm ready to get rid of. So I have some costumes on there, and I'm going to be putting more on there when I get back from my vacation. And then I have my elastic that I have manufactured and I'm sharing with you guys. So if you would like to buy that elastic to make some of your costumes, you can go on bradgstock.com and check that out. I also have my nude liner that I use in all my costumes that people ask about. And so I put some up there, and you can buy a couple of yards if you want to use it for your costumes. And then I also will be adding more fabrics and then more crystals. I have a little bit of crystals up right now, but I have a bunch of crystals I need to count out, and I'm going to put up there so that you can buy some crystals so that you can bling yourself out. Now I also have an Amazon store. Now the Amazon store is basically where I house or I've curated a collection of all the items that I use to create my costumes. So like my scissors, my electric rotary cutter, that 505 spray, my airbrush, and everything that I use for the airbrush, and beading supplies. So go check that out. That link is in the description of each and every one of my videos. So you can click on that, and then you can buy whatever you want. And then what it does, it helps me out here. So if you're enjoying what I'm doing here and you're enjoying this channel, it gives me a little bit of kickback when you buy something from that Amazon store. But there's a lot of fun goodies in there, and I keep adding things when I think of something that I use that I can find on Amazon. And it doesn't charge you anything extra when you buy. It's the same price, but it just helps me out. So go check out that Amazon store. And then if you want to follow me on my socials, you can of course follow me here on YouTube. But you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And you just search Braggraphies and I show up and you can follow me. I do a lot of posting on Instagram of close-ups of my costumes, maybe little videos. I also do any notifications that I want you to know about. So like if I have a new video coming out, or if I'm having a sale, or if I have some new stuff in that stock website that I want you to know about, I always put it there on Instagram so it lets you know when something is happening. So follow me there, Braggraphies on Instagram and on Facebook. And then with that being said, if you're also enjoying these videos and you know somebody who you think might enjoy this video, whether it's a friend or maybe you're part of a group on Facebook or an internet group that has to do with sewing or beading or costumes or whatever, and you think they would enjoy it, please share it so that I can grow my audience so I can continue making these videos for you guys. And with that being said, I think we are done. But I really hope you enjoyed this video with Bindi because I thought she was adorable and so cute, and it's got me in a little bit of puppy love. So maybe we'll start seeing Braggraphies puppy around the studio at some point. She can be our mascot, and maybe we'll make a YouTube channel for her, and you can follow her around. And with that being said, I think we're done. So thank you for watching, and then check out my next video that comes out. And if you want to binge all the stuff that I've shown you already, go check that out. I have a lot of good stuff. So thank you for watching. And if you're still here, you're a true fan, because I know a lot of people have probably clicked off of this video. But if you're still here listening to me, you are my number one, and I see you, I hear you, and I thank you for being here. All right, I'll see you in the next video.